this is Matt with Let's Talk Music. I'm here with Taj of Fused by Defiance. He is joining me from Los Angeles this evening, and we are going to talk about the new single "Villain."
Yeah.
So, good jam, really
Say it
dug
again.
it. I was saying good jam, really dug it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Um, do you do the clean and unclean vocals?
Yeah, I do both of those.
Oh, okay. So see that right there is awesome because more and more women are starting to do the unclean vocals, and I think that's pretty awesome. I mean, it just you got what the Butcher Babies, you got
Yeah.
oh Alyssa from oh what's the band? You know who I'm talking about.
I do. I do.
Yeah, so I mean it is. It's just it's getting more and more prevalent. It's not just a guy thing.
Yeah, I love it.
So how do you prep your throat for that?
So it's a lot of warming up and a lot of so what I do is I do like a saline steam where I just like have you ever done like a nasal rinse? And you
Hmm.
have to put like the saline packets in the like nose little thing.
Right.
Well, there's a actually I have it here. There's a nebulizer you can use and you put saline in the nebulizer and it like kind of just sprays out steam, and I
Hmm.
kind of prep using that as well along with the warm-ups.
Awesome. So the song "Villain," tell me about it. I mean, what's I read watched the lyric video, but the people that haven't seen it yet, you can kind of give them an idea of the meaning behind it.
Yeah, so Villain was really inspired by being in a lot of situations in which you take the high road, take the high road, take the high road, and then finally someone pushes you a little bit too far, and then you kind of react to it, and then all of a sudden you're the bad person, all of a sudden you're the villain, and not necessarily the person who's been causing all of the all the issues and all of the harm. So I wrote the song Villain to say, you know what, fuck that. We're not doing the high road anymore. The moment someone disrespects you, you're just gonna disrespect them back and make it worse. So essentially, like in short, the song is really just about being petty.
Did that come from an actual experience or?
I mean, just like in general, I've always tried to be really understanding of people's situations. And it just kind of got to a point where people just started getting mean. And I felt like at that point, it's just like I have to like respect myself in some kind of way. So I guess like in general, with a lot of my friend groups that I've come across, it could be inspired by them as well.
I agree, people do suck. Um, it is really it's hard to find people that are honest and not really out for themselves and stuff like that anymore. I think that it's I don't know. It's just generational gap, I guess. I don't know. When if I even back talked at all, I was getting backhanded when I was a kid. Of course, not allowed to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But
In some states.
right, but it's just, I mean, and you know, I've talked to a lot of people that kind of write their music based on the same thing, of, lack of respect from people or people not caring about each other and stuff. And I mean, it's a pretty big subject.
Yeah, it's the human experience too. Yeah, everyone is just kind of reacting to each other and then really just controlling what they can. And the only thing you really can't control in life is your own behavior. So it makes sense.
Right. And I mean, the thing that sucks about it all though is like it's causing so much hatred in the world, you
I
know,
definitely agree with that.
and it just I mean, I still myself try to be nice to everybody that I can, but again, I'm like, okay, you want to be an asshole to me, I'm gonna be an asshole back.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
So I was reading, you guys are getting ready to go out on a little West Coast leg.
Yeah, we just got back.
Oh, you just got back. Okay,
Yeah.
because yeah, I guess if I looked at the dates, Denver, Colorado was the last one you hit. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh moving this way at all?
We're trying to plan moving a little bit further out from the west, but right now we're just getting home and kind of getting back into when we're going to release our newest single. One of the guys is about to have a little beautiful baby girl. So in December, we're gonna take a probably like a short break and probably get back to it around like J January.
Okay. So is this your first album?
With Fused, yeah. So like this is our we technically we just have a lot of singles, so we don't have one EP yet. We have it written, but we kind of just went the route of releasing singles because that tends to do a lot better for a lot of DIY bands.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I've heard that so much.
Yeah.
And that's who I talk to mostly is, DIY bands. I mean, I talked to a few people that are under labels, not like huge ones. And then, I mean, Saliva and what was the one, Breaking Benjamin. I mean, they're obviously under some big ones, but I like talking to the DIY bands because you guys have a lot more drive, a lot more push because you want to get, where you want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's really cool to hear your guys' side and what it's taken to get you there and everything. And some guys are like, I don't care if I ever hit it big. I just enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's true. I'm kind of the same way. I enjoy the level in which we're at right now,
Yeah.
honestly. Like where like we all have our lives that we go back to, but then we can all do this fun thing together, and go out and like change people's lives at the same time. So I kind of enjoy the duality of that.
So how'd you guys meet? I mean, how did the band come together?
So I'm the last member to join. They've been a band for the guitar players, Kevin Arnold and John have been a band since I think 2013.
Hmm.
They did dismantled sometime I think in 2016 and came back together in 2019, where they found Ted, the drummer, and then I showed up to an audition accidentally with a major concussion for no reason because I had no plans to join this band as a vocalist because I've never been a vocalist in my life. And I showed up and they were like, "Hey, you want to join it?" I was like, "Sure. Whenever you guys want to say just kidding, just let me know." I'm still waiting for them to say just kidding, by the way. So, but so far so good.
That's a pretty awesome story. I mean, showed up with you didn't mean to show up, and then you get
I
the
sure did
gig.
not. Yep. It's
Wow.
we still talk about it today. It's hilarious.
So I mean, I see that you guys have opened up for some pretty cool bands. Nonpoint, Puddle of
Hmm.
Mud, Ice Sets Kill, love them. The Offspring. I mean, he was on the Vans Warped tour.
Hmm.
So I mean, you're getting some pretty decent exposure.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's been a lot of fun and being able to keep up with the acts is actually I mean, it kind of strokes our ego just a little, just a tad bit, just a little bit.
So I mean, when you guys come on stage and you come out there with those unclean vocals, do you ever just see people look at you like, "Whoa," not expecting it?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Because like I mean, especially being like a woman in the music, they expect me to go out there and start singing like Paramore. And so like sometimes I joke around and I introduce myself, "Hey guys, I'm Paramore. Nice to meet you." And then I come on, we're like, "Raw." They're like, "Whoa!" But yeah, no, it does take people by surprise. And I think that the dynamics of our performance also takes people by surprise.
Yeah, I mean, uh, I can't really because, like I said, it was a lyrics video. Do
Mhm.
you guys plan on making an actual video for it, or
For this one, no, we're just gonna do a lyric video, but our next song we will do that one we're planning on doing a full video for.
okay? So, I mean, have you guys made any video since you've been with the band? Have you made any videos?
Yeah, we made two videos for the two EPs that we did. So
Okay.
for Insanity and Cancel Culture.
Cancel. I know I've heard that. I think
That
that yeah, I believe I have heard that one.
that
But
one's a
yeah,
funny one.
that's I mean, the videos. Do you guys have a good time doing it, or is
Oh,
it
we
just
love doing the videos. No, that's it. No, we love doing the videos. We get together and we're all like really giddy, like we're kids again, and we come together with the concept. We're very last minute, so we usually come up with the concept either like 12 hours before or like the moment we get there. We're like, hey, let's do this. And we're like, all right, let's all do it.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard both stories. I've heard guys like, man, it was like grueling, it really sucked, and then other people like, oh my God, we had such a good time, and you can tell.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
and it's a big selling point for musicians. It's unfortunately MTV isn't MTV anymore,
Yeah,
but you know, I guess
it's reality
on
TV.
on the plus side is it cost them guys hundreds of thousands of dollars to make those videos to have put on MTV, and DIY bands can do it for a couple $100, and
Mm-hmm.
it can turn out just as cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
So, and I mean, YouTube is huge. I mean, I
Game
swear to
changer.
God, there's not anything that you can't find on it. I mean, you have like my refrigerator broke. You put in the name of the refrigerator and this
Yep.
and what's going on, and it'll tell you. I mean, it's like
Yep.
I've become an electrician and a plumber and everything else because of YouTube.
That's funny. That's I actually learned how to change the oil in my car from YouTube. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I mean, I used to be a mechanic, but nowadays cars are so complicated because they're so computerized that I mean,
yeah, that's true.
I've had to, look stuff up on YouTube also. But it's a great, opportunity for you guys to say, "Hey, here we are," and then you got all the platforms, that really puts you out there. And that's kind of, what I try to do. I mean, I'm not a huge media outlet. I'm kind of a DIY guy myself. I don't have any real backing for this or anything. I just kind of buy stuff as I go. And I get where you're coming from because mine is driven by a pure passion of music.
Yeah.
I can't. I've never really taken the time, or I mean, I've tried a little bit to play guitar, tried a little bit to play drums, but I've never really sat down and had the patience and taken the time. But this is something that I enjoy because, for years I've just useless facts about music in my head. I mean, people will be like, "Hey, who's this and who's that?" And and I could go with that, and I mean, I can hear the first few notes of a song and know it. You know,
Yeah.
so it's kind of I think I finally found my place of just being able to talk to people and say, hey, let's talk about your band, let's talk about music. That's why I call it Let's Talk Music, because
Hmm.
it's not just you know all the questions you get during a normal interview. I'm like, hey, what do you like, what do you do? It's more personable, I think. When
Yeah, I agree.
when you feel like you're just talking and you're just having a conversation like we know each other, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Especially
So,
when it's a common interest.
right. And so with that said, like who are your influences? I mean, who are the ones that really made you get into music?
So I was raised on a lot of R&B and hip hop, but when I switched over to rock in like middle school, it was like the emo era. So I think like the person I had on repeat in middle school was Evanescence.
Hmm.
Constant, like the whole Fallen album, the whole I think the Open Door album. Also, ironic that I said this earlier. Paramore was on there. And then nowadays it's closer to Of Mice and Men, Bring Me the Horizon. Um, who was I just listening to? The Plot and You, a lot, and I like Asking Alexandria. So like my music taste does shift a lot.
Hmm.
And I even go beyond like metal. I go on to like musicals and like movie scores. I don't do a lot of country music,
Right.
but I do some country music, a lot of trap metal, and a lot of EDM, especially dubstep. But I don't know if you've recently been to any like dubstep shows, but they're basically like going to a metal show now. Like they have scream vocals in there, mosh pits, walls of death. It's just this whole amazing community now.
Oh, okay. So you mentioned hip hop. What was the hip hop you was into back in the day?
It was mostly like Tupac, TLC. It wasn't unfortunately Biggie because there was the whole West Coast East Coast thing going on, and like if you listen to Biggie in the West Coast, and how dare you?
Right.
Um, but yeah, a lot of that, a lot of like Boys to Men. Who else did I listen to back then? The Brat, Queen Latifah,
Okay.
um, MC Light.
Yeah. See, I remember all those. NWA, Snoop
Mm-hmm.
Dogg.
Yeah,
Oh,
Ice Cube, Dr. Dre.
yep. What was the Too Short? I mean,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it was a little. Oh, Two Life Crew was one of my favorites. I mean, because
yeah,
they were. I mean, as nasty as you want to be was that album, and they were as nasty as they could
they
be.
were. Yep, it was great.
No, and it was like they come out and they push the boundaries and said, how much can we get away with?
Mm-hmm.
Before.
That's kind of how the women rappers are nowadays too. Like like Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion or City Girls. It is just nasty and it's funny to me. Like it's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, and I mean it was always the guys that were like that. The women were more reserved.
Hmm.
And it was the same way with like rock. I mean,
Hmm.
in the 80s it was nothing but sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah.
And same with like I'd say early 90s, and then the kind of the grunge movement moved in and people were more chill and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I mean, music's ever changing. It's almost daily you hear something new, and
Hmm.
that's what I really love about doing this too. Is uh, yesterday I interviewed a band called Beneath My Feet from Sweden. Or
Nice.
yeah, because it was noon here, it was 5 o'clock there. Really good band. Great metalcore. You know,
Love it.
band. Then the Sunday before was another band called Gomorrah from Switzerland.
Nice.
So it's really cool because I feel like, man, I'm sitting here talking to somebody halfway around the world, and that technology 20 years ago wasn't available.
Yeah, that's true. That's
I mean,
true.
you're doing a call in, like, okay, because I remember listening to those kind of interviews, like, oh yeah, we're over in Paris right now touring and whatever, and
Hmm.
so it's really fun to meet new people that are in the same, I guess, mentality as me, that love music and everything. And it's really cool, like I said, to meet a girl. Well, I'm sorry, I don't mean a girl, a woman that can scream like that. I mean, because when I was listening to it, I was like, okay, is that her or is that one of the guys?
Is that one of the guys? Yeah. I do hear that often.
And well, because I mean, if you look up the lineup, it says that Arnold does the backup vocals.
Yeah.
So in that sense, you could think, okay, she's just doing the clean lyrics and he's doing the unclean.
Hmm.
Because last night when I was talking to or yesterday when I was talking to Beneath My Feet, one of the interesting things about them is they actually have two lyricists that do unclean and
Nice.
clean, and which is usually not common. Usually it's you got one
Yeah.
that does the unclean and one that does the clean. So I thought that was pretty cool. And he was like, yeah, man, we both go at it and whatever. And him and the drummer mainly write the lyrics. So who writes the lyrics mainly in your band?
So I write the lyrics in the band for all the newer songs. The old vocalist wrote the lyrics for the older songs.
I got you. So I mean, how do you come up with the lyrics? I mean, that's I've always wondered, like, because I've actually sat down before and thought, okay, I'm gonna try to write a song, and
Hmm.
I'm like, duh, you know?
You know what's so funny is like I didn't used to be good with lyrics at all. It wasn't until I just joined this band that I randomly became good at it. And it just became a matter of like letting yourself relax into what you want to talk about. For
Yeah.
me, like I always tried to like force it. Like this is what I want to talk about, and I want to get across this message, and I want to make sure that there's a whole bunch of loopholes or whatever in the song so it sounds cool. And then when I tried to approach it like that, it just came out like shit. And so like eventually I just like, you know what, let me just like see what comes naturally. And then I just like start writing. And then eventually like a whole song is turned out based off of like, I guess something that's either happening currently or whatever I'm feeling in the moment. And then it just turns out I will say like the more simple the better. Like just try and be as simple as possible.
Right. So, like on average, how long does it take you to complete one?
Lyrics, specifically, it won't take me. It'll take me maybe like 2 hours probably.
Okay.
That's a pretty long time. But lyrics they don't take that long. It really depends on how long it takes the guys to have a completed version of the instrumental.
Right. Now, do you do you play off of the instrumental at all before you write, or do they go off of your lyrics for the instrumental?
So that's where we're all really interesting. So I used to play before I joined them. I used to play in a punk band for 9 years. So I played the guitar, the bass. I do the backing tracks. So we all kind of do it all together. And then sometimes one of the guys, usually Kevin, will have some weird, crazy idea that no one's ever thought of. And then he'll like say, okay, but at this part, I think that you should like include like a vocal here. And then we'll like go back and forth on like what vocal to put there, and then I'll be like, well, what if you added like a nine or a bend to like this part of the riff? So it's super collaborative, like just like in general.
Well, that's pretty awesome. I mean, you're multi-talented,
Woo!
which I mean, a lot of musicians are.
Yeah.
I've noticed that. Like, oh, I used to play guitar, I used to play drums, and never thought about being a vocalist, but here I am. And but it's it's like I've said with a lot of people. I think it's something you're born with.
Mm-hmm.
It's a talent that is instilled in you, and then a lot of people like that I've talked to, they have their family was big into music, and their mom and dad would play records, and they'd sit there and they bought them their first guitar at like 4 years
Aw.
old. So it's like, okay, most people, they realize that they have that kind of talent early, and they harness it and are able to do something with it. Like with me, I didn't even start trying to play guitar until I was like 16, 17. And like I said, I
Nice.
was I was more interested in other things, girls, stuff like that. So of course, playing guitar kind of made you cool to the girls, but
That's
you know,
true. That's true.
it just my the person who was teaching me was a buddy of mine. He was still learning, so he would get frustrated with me when I wasn't picking up on it. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was just kind of the whole thing. And
Aw.
I've had people ask me, you think you'll pick it up again? I'm like, maybe someday, you
I
know.
mean, I feel like the key is playing what you like to hear. Like just picking a song you like and playing it. That's how I was able to start at least. I just found like what's my favorite Evanescence song? What's my favorite Paramore song? And I learned to play that song, and that's how I learned the guitar.
So just out of curiosity, those two bands, what are your favorite songs?
From those two bands.
Evanescence and Paramore.
Oh man, okay, we're doing this. What is my favorite Evanescence song? I think is "All That I'm Living For," and my favorite Paramore song I think is like "That's What You Get," like one of the pop
Yes.
or "All I Wanted." She recently did that live for the first time, and everyone was just like, "What?"
Yeah, I love That's What You Get. Also, You're the Only Exception.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good
That's a
one
good
too.
one. And
Oh, love songs.
Evanescence, I mean, God, I just love Amy Lee.
Oh yeah, that girl just like when she sings, like the emotion that comes out is just and her lyrics oh man, it's just so good.
I actually, I mean, gonna have to go that I think my favorite one is you know, oh, I mean, I like Bring Me to Life. I mean, that was a really popular one, but
Yeah.
Broken with her and Seether.
Broken. Yeah, and See There. Oh, that is a good song.
That
That is a
was
really
that
good
was a
song.
great collaboration. And I mean, I remember watching it live, and I just got goosebumps. And that's one of the things that I love about music. It's one of the few things in this world that I can hear and it gives me goosebumps.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I love it.
And then it's like, one song, I mean, Don't Stop Believing from Journey. Every time
Hmm.
I'm just like cranking
I'm
this
not
shit
gonna
up.
stop. I'm not gonna stop.
Right, just
Oh
singing
man.
along with it. And I can't carry a tune for shit, but in my car.
I
So
love love it.
Yeah, I mean, so what's when we expect the next single?
The next single's done, so we should be having that out either like late January or like early February.
Okay.
This one we're actually really excited about. It's like it's different than what we put out before, but we all love the song and we feel like everyone else will love it too.
Are you able to get say the name of it or?
Yeah, we played it once live. So the name of it is going to be called Will of a Warrior.
Uh-huh.
It's very uh where would I compare it to? I mean, it's really like mid 2000s type of vibe in there. You'll get some clean vocals, you'll get some scream vocals. It's like an empowerment song, so we're kind of really excited about this one.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go for the evening. Like I said, I just got in from work, so I'm ready to eat some dinner.
I feel it, I feel it. And thanks so
Um,
much, Matt. I appreciate it.
I do. I do. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your insight into the band and just your insight into music. Period. Like I said, I love talking to people that are like minded and
Yeah,
you know
passionate.
look forward to the new single and hopefully you guys get out this way. If not, we'll maybe cross paths again and have
Yeah.
another interview.
Yeah, totally down. I super appreciate it.
All right. Well, you have a good evening.
You too.
All right.
All right. Bye.